Hello, everyone! Welcome back to another action-packed, exciting episode of TRI's Crypto Countdown. TRI's Crypto Top 100 Review. Crypto, TRI. Welcome back to the Frivolity. One of our cohorts here is hip deep in work, and couldn't make it here this evening, so... another one of our cohorts said he's probably got to leave a little bit early. So we might have a short episode here tonight, but we'll try our best. Great that actually we showed up. And actually we're doing sort of rapid fire kind of episode last week. I don't know how that went. Maybe leave a comment or something. I don't know how many people actually watched us or not. But if you did like the rapid fire approach to the review of these names, maybe let us know. Anyway, welcome back to the show. My name is Brian Beamish, and this is the Rational Investor and our crew. Kind of our look on crypto. Kind of a fun look. I work with three site members, students in various stages of the course. And as I said, Derek, unfortunately, is not going to be able to be with us tonight. And... I think he's studying for his final exam. And we've got Nick here tonight. How you doing this evening, Nick?
Good as always. A little busy, but I'm here for a bit.
All right. Stick around as long as you can. And he's coaching Ben. Ben, how you doing this evening?
Yeah, doing great, thanks.
Awesome. Yeah. So Nick's just coaching Ben on how we should fill the spreadsheet out just in case Ben has to hop here. So... we'll try our best, but it is the end of March. It's interesting. I am seeing... I'm a big fan of all these celestial events and stuff, and we do have a big sort of high anxiety, all about war and anger and frustration and all that kind of stuff. Celestial event coming up here on the 4th of April, and I can sort of feel like everything is moving towards some... I just feel like people are getting more and more and more anxious. So I hope we can all get through this in one piece. If I understand correctly, though, Nick's saying he's getting ready to go on vacation. So that's kind of cool. Hopefully he has a good break. And actually, you're going to head down into Ben's neck of the woods, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, we'll be down by Orlando. So I think a little bit away from Ben.
Yeah,
probably a little too far to visit, but...
well, maybe you can shout and say hello. All right, so we have been running this fun little spreadsheet, and really all I want to do is, because the market seems to be in a relatively friendly state here, this seasonally is a good time of year to trade, so if you want to make money, they always say buy when it snows, sell when it goes for people in the northern hemisphere, we're just heading out of the snowy period. In fact, I think somebody told me today it was snowing. Oh, it was snowing in Georgia. So I thought it was interesting. That's Georgia, Europe. One of our day traders, for some reason, he decided to relocate to Georgia, of all places. I don't know whether I would choose to relocate to that particular part of the world, but what the hell. Anyway, and then the expression is sell when it goes, usually into April, May, June. A little bit of a rally window in the market, and things sometimes perk up nicely. You remember last year, of course, that's when Mr. Wonderful, what's his name, Elon Musk, bid up Dogecoin. God, it's incredible how just the difference in the market in 1 year, right? Remember 1 year ago, that was when he was doing his Doge rally. And we were having the Coinbase IPO, and man, it was just all green. Remember, there were people out there going, technical analysis doesn't matter. Just buy it. You'll make money. I think that changed a little bit over time, but anyway. Okay, so we don't have much time with you here tonight, Nick. What do you think we should do while we've got you here? Do we want to do our little update of our prognostication? It looks like Brian was a big fat wrong burger.
Yeah, I was going to say absent Ben was the closest.
Nick was a wrong burger. absent. Oh yeah, I remember we filled in. We were joking that Ben was
I
going to
do
go
so
Uber
well when I'm
Bolt.
not here.
Yeah, you do the best when you're not here.
Yeah, well, nicely done. Great picks, man. You're killing it.
Cheers.
And Derek thought we'd tread water. So interesting how we got that nice rally over the past week or so, eh? Not an Uber rally, but I guess a +1 rally, huh? All right. Well, anyway, congratulations, Ben. Way to go. Nice picking. And then probably that means Derek's probably going to have the best results this week.
Yep. Hopefully.
So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Do you want to place your bet for this coming week now before you take off?
I probably should. You know, I'm gonna stick with a -1, so I think we can. That's a legitimate -1. But I mean, what the hell do I know? We're probably still going up. So
yeah. Interesting. We did actually put in a bunch of W's, which was kind of interesting. So I don't know, Ben. Do you want to wait till the end, or do you want to cast your vote now? It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, it could be good if Nick's here. Yeah, to catch his as well, but yeah.
Well, okay, so he just did his. Do you want to do your vote now, or do you want to wait till the end? It's up to you.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
What do you feel like?
If
you need some time to think about it, I can appreciate it.
Yeah, I might take a bit more time.
All right. So we'll circle around, but you got to remind me before we leave that we got to come back and do this, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. And then we kind of got into a bit of rapid fire, just trying to analyze as many of these things as fast as possible. So do you want to continue doing another one of these things tonight and see if we can just bang through as many as possible?
yeah, let's do it. Maddox first.
All right. That's here. Polymatic. All right. And are we looking at this thing on like... what is it? Is it Matic?
It's Matic, yeah. They changed their ticker last year.
Matic and Tethers?
Yep, that one looks great.
All right, well, definitely. I think I remember us talking about this before, saying it is one of the stronger looking ones. Seems like a bit of a familiar conversation. I guess the fact that just into the end of the year they took it to new highs, that's going to be generally bullish, I suppose. And actually, I'm having a lot of these kind of conversations with people on the site right now. In that you can be like a cheap ass, like Brian. And, you do your value hunting, bottom end of range, that kind of stuff. But if you're like, well, Brian, this thing's not coming back down. What do I do? I would consider this sort of like trend continuation trading. We were kind of talking about that in the energy market right now, since the energy market's so strong. So that means we would probably, because something like a reload zone trade, I just don't see it happening here. It's the top of value. In fact, probably 52-week range. 50%. Well, I guess that would be that low there, right? April. March is a little bit higher. So yeah, I guess right there. So there's your 52-week range. Yeah, tag mountain, man. So I don't think I wouldn't approach this as sort of like a value trade. I would say that if you did want to participate, this has got that bot kind of setup kind of thing working, where this would be trend continuation. So that would be there to there. So you've got one low, two lows. Don't know whether I have enough. If anything, this does make sense. So it's not a value trade. Just roughly. There's the bot's entry. There's quite a bit of room to play with here. Maybe even a little too much room. So, like this green box was our classic reload zone of the range. So you can't really say it's in reload zone, bottom end of range. That would really be sort of testing all of these lows down in here, which is not. So if you're like, well, Brian, it hasn't corrected down into value levels. But I still would like to consider getting in on the long side. What do I do? And my suggestion would be is you kind of want for like 3 higher lows here. Also 1 low, 2 lows. So really on the trend line break, what we really want to see is, can I have a W? And hopefully you see that there's our W right there. All this. So that's the way I would look at it right now. I would say it's not value. It's a potential trend continuation, especially with the fact that it made a new high there. And trend continuation would imply, and I don't know what the value of these things are, so it'd be interesting to hear from the boys about like how many coins are out and what kind of market cap would this create. But if this is a trend continuation and these are the ultimate lows, and you might even see something like that. This might take a while to work its way all the way up there. You might find that this doesn't happen until way over there. That could very easily be the case. But I think if anything, we're probably a bit early for trend continuation. So I don't know. How do we describe that? Because we would say location. So location, I wouldn't be overly impressed with it. I would say that if you are hunting along, then you have to trade trend continuation, and we're still going to need more market structure to sort of support the idea. So how do we label that? Any idea? Any suggestions?
So, I mean, in a previous one, I did mark down for Avalanche that we did have location, but I put in parentheses that it was for a bot.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So maybe
I would say the same thing. So I would have to say exactly the same thing. We have trade location for a bot, and it's still forming. Need the 3rd higher low to be registered. I don't know how else to describe that. The irony of it all is that TRIers, you'll understand that. Is this where we put the new chart?
Yep, right there, right, that blue cell there, yep.
Yeah, okay. So any TRIers accessing this website, hopefully this makes sense to you. We didn't even really look at indicators because I would still need to see more price structure here before I think about bot. Ideally, I would like to see lots of W's in the indicators. So they're trying. I don't even really see any divergence here either, though. Just looks like a big wedge. It looks like it's trying to resolve to the upside. But, I think I've told you before, sometimes with these MACD wedges, you can have like a big down like that, a big up like that, and it goes woo up and then. So I don't like when I see that. I mean, yeah, if you want to ride with the momentum right now, the momentum is to the upside, but this usually rolls over and crashes hard at some point. So just be forewarned. What do you think? Anything else we want to add to this?
That crash would fit the crab I'm looking for around 80 cents.
Hey, there you go. Talking like a true harmonican.
But I don't know if it
actually that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, like down in here somewhere. Actually, probably also a cipher, eh? He's using a cipher. But you're thinking crab, eh? Like a bullish crab?
Yeah.
Now you've triggered me. I'm trying this new website search engine. Oh, something like that.
Yeah.
Thing is that we did like the A to C. C was actually higher than A though.
No, it's not the full. You'd start it at the lows, kind of in mid-January.
Lows in mid. Okay. Oh. Okay. Steven, he does really great work with the harmonics, and he always likes to start his studies at like some extreme level in the RSI. So I don't know whether we have. Are you thinking off of the low there? Okay. Well, I wouldn't mind draw that up and show me what's on your mind. Okay, so this one, I would say, in actual fact, it's probably something like there's it's almost like it's a backwards channel, right? Something like there to there, and then against there. Yeah, that's almost what I think needs to happen here. So, and be careful, right? Our rule about W's on other sides of trend lines. This almost looks like a head and shoulders right here. Actually, you know what this also looks like is, I wonder if David, he would see this. This looks like an atom, and not like an Eve is, that really well defined, J-Lo booty bottom kind of thing. This kind of looks like an Adam and Steve. So I don't know if it is or not, but this does definitely look like a head and shoulders. So if that's the case, then I think there's going to be a short-term upside objective, and I do see quite a few names rallying right now. So I could see up into here, and actually that would make sense because I do like the look that this is a. It almost looks like it's a megaphone, but megaphone would want actually a lower low here. I don't know how that would work. Maybe it's just a simple channel like that. And then also, I guess I see this huge head and shoulders. So I do see this little head and shoulders. It's going to paint an objective up in here. It's probably against that high there. Something like that. Then up into there. Then a pullback. And this is probably the trade that I would want to focus in on. Is a reload zone there. Against that trend line support and against the POC. Maybe get a little dip below value here. That's what I would want to see down the road to set something up. And now I guess would set up our sort of one low, two lows, and then if this can hold, if this is a head and shoulders, then that low there should hold. So if we can get a nice bottom down here, right? So you got one low, two lows, three lows, go. So that's what I'd want to see. I don't know where we put that chart. Anyway, that's what I'd be kind of thinking. Wow, that's a tough one to start off with. It's not an easy one. It's not like that's a slam dunk trade. That's pretty difficult. I'm not quite sure where to put this. We'll put here. We'll just say Brian's zoomed in. What day is it? It's 3/23.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes. Oop, I didn't want that. Oops. Oh darn. Okay, it's not working. Why are you not working? Oh, that's weird. What a mess. Yeah, Brian zoomed in. That's not what I wanted. And delete. Thank you. Let's try that again. Okay. Oops. There. I probably did it on the wrong row. Well, So are you still feeling pretty bullish about that fundamental story? Yeah.
I like the platform. There's a lot of games building on it right now. You asked about this kind of value of it. It kind of plays the same thesis as Ethereum or any other layer one. It's used for gas, but unfortunately on Polygon, gas is essentially free. So there's not a lot of demand from it from that perspective.
Is there like a lot of coins out?
Yeah, I mean it's a buck and it's the number 15 coins. So yeah, there's like, I don't know, 10 billion or so out.
Yeah. All right. Okay, well, there's your roadmap. If you are interested in taking a trade, I do like the idea of this little window down in here. So what is that, about $1.45 to $1.58, somewhere in there? That's probably where I'd want to be a buyer. So maybe keep that in mind, but I don't think there's a trade set up yet. All right, moving on. Next one, Crypto.com. That's a coin?
Yep, CRO. In fact, I think they just recently, in the last month or so, rebranded to Kronos.
All right. These used to be the old MCO guys, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you have to be in crypto a while to remember that. Remember we had a guy on the site who was just super enthusiastic about it. It looks like it's not on Binance. That's a bit surprising. What do you think? Where should we look at this? It's on Trex. Look at all these weird things. Crossfire, Crown. No, that's not Trex. Where do you think we should look at this? Coinbase? That's awfully
It's pretty new on Coinbase.
Yeah, you might just want to do like KuCoin or something.
That's surprising.
That might have some history.
Yeah. All right, so kind of the same thing as Matic. I hate when I see coins in this kind of position. You know, you guys all want me to go, oh yeah, it's a fucking screaming buy, man. I got loaded up on that thing today. But, this is sort of like, man, it's there. I mean, I suppose 1, 2, 3 higher lows. If you're going to try and trend continuation trade this, I guess it's something along those lines. Boobity-boo. Boom. So it's beyond 66 though, so that's not very good. Yeah, I mean, probably my knee-jerk reaction is probably going to get some sort of counter-trend rally back up against this top end of the range here. So, if I go like that, then I go, come on you, there. Let's put that on there. There we go. And there. And there. A little bit of some bottom. Like I said, can't really do trend continuation. So if we go reload zone, let's definitely come down into a reload zone. But I'm a cheap ass, and you know Brian. I mean, I would personally prefer to try and be long down off of these levels. Especially, right there would be the best place, right there. Beautiful triple bottom there. And actually, that's probably the buy. And that was a reload zone to this range. Down, did a Benkoff check and everything. I'm going to miss Derek. So there's probably your killer insane buy right down in there. So it's okay. It's not really anything that's going to get me excited. And the problem here, of course, is look at the size of this muwak. I used to go like this. That's huge. So this wouldn't be something I'd be interested in. Could it perform? Sure, maybe. But if anything, I would say that oh yeah, that's what I did here. Probably your odds are that it's going to rally up into, actually let's do the others. Yeah, so 38.2, asking if it's still a bear, and really if it can resolve and this holds a W, can it accept back above value? And then my hunch is, you can see volume really trails off here, so there's not a heck of a lot of buying interest up here. So my hunch is probably, value. It's a little questionable when we get way up top here. So probably just above this node here, right up in this area, that's probably where you're going to find a lot of resistance. So it's like a trading range. Do you want to try and play the ping pong? It's got a half decent risk reward. So, if you bought this bottom here, even if you just bought that W there, but let's risk against that tail low just for fun. Then rally up into, say, the top of value, midpoint of the reload zone, these candle body highs up here. There's probably even gaps up here. But, horizontal support and resistance, that's a level. That's a level. And actually, this is interesting, this whole empire top, that doji right up in there, that's a critical level as well. So notice we got a nice cluster of levels up there. That all this area up here, there really wasn't that much interest in doing business. I find it hard to believe. And then, of course, candle body highs, there's got 3 of them, boom, 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 right up against that 88.6. So right up in here would probably be like sort of my upside expectation. So, I mean, that's a pretty good risk-reward window. But, again, Brian's a cheap ass, and being a cheap ass, I'm a little concerned that we're not quite ready to rock and roll down here. They also spent a lot of money on advertising. Didn't they buy like sports stadiums and stuff like that?
Yeah, they own the rights to the Staples Center now, which I think is now the Crypto.com arena or something.
Yeah, and then they spent a lot of money on Super Bowl ads and stuff. So, are you coming into the story late? Can we go and find names that are doing this kind of stuff down here so you can like bang out 100Xs and stuff and Lambos and the whole damn thing? Actually, I guess that's just 10X. And then is this scalable? Like is this just about as good as this gets? Or like Luna, can they scale the whole damn operation and build another 10 platforms on to use the network and all the other sort of layer 1 stories? Do you know? Anyone?
Yeah, I guess it's a pretty difficult market to break into. You're competing with some like MasterCard and Visa is what everybody uses, and they're pretty tied into their banks already. So you've got to convince people to start spending with a new bank, which to people in the crypto community, I guess that's really helpful. But bringing on outsiders, I don't know, it might be a bit far away. That's kind of my thinking.
It is a Visa card though that they have.
Oh, right, yeah. So
they did they did make some relationship with Visa, eh?
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Anyway, I think there's your trade. Is this the kind of thing I would get really excited about here? No. Down around, I guess, 20 cents. That's where I would get excited. Here, it's kind of middle of the road. But you can see the levels. If we hold these lows, then basically that's, what is it? It's about a 4-to-1 risk reward. You could probably juice it a bit more, again, trying to get up into these levels here, 4.5-to-1 kind of idea. But it's probably not a trade I'd be interested in. So. Anyway, there it is. So location, and actually now it's moved out of location, so I couldn't even say yes to location now. And I don't know, do we have any? See, we had divs come in on this push up here, so you could probably make an argument. See, the thing is I think I'd like to see I'd like to see a W on the other side of this trend line now. Getting a bit greedy. Is this enough of a W here to justify? The problem is these are lower lows, so I tell you what, I would say I will feel comfortable if this thing goes and W's out here like that, and you get that kind of saucer bottom. But as it stands right now, I wouldn't be interested. So anyway. I don't know what to say. All I'm going to say is, meh. I mean, it looks like it's pointing up. Is there a man vote? I don't know. I know. Oh, I did it again. Damn it. I know that Sjord said that they changed some of the metrics or something for how you get paid, or do you get incentivized to hold more of these things? I can't remember how it goes.
Yeah, when it was cheaper, you needed a certain amount of coins, like quantity of coins, and they changed it once it started getting expensive that you need a dollar amount of coins to get the rewards.
All right. Wonder how much that is. You have any idea?
1 sec. If this would load, I could tell it to you.
I'm just wondering how many I have. Whether I know I've got a bunch of these over on the on my centralized exchanges, so just be curious what that number is. Oh, I've got quite a few over there. What is that? What are these things? About 50 cents a piece? 60 cents a piece? Where'd that go? Okay, I'm going crazy. I guess those over here. Yeah, so how much are these things worth? Yeah, about 43 cents. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Turns out you need anywhere between $400 and $400,000 for the tiers.
So they start at $400?
Yeah, you can get 2% cash back at 400, 3% at 4,000, 5% at 40,000, and 8% at 400,000.
400 G's. Man, yeah, that's a leap of faith, eh?
You get a lot. You get some other perks too, but yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, dancing girls and the whole thing, eh? Okay, well, there it is. I don't really like those kind of incentivized things, you know. I like just pure raw supply and demand. I want to own this thing because it's so awesome. But anyway. Okay, so I think we probably said enough about that one. On to the next one. What do you got here? Wrapped Bitcoin. That's
we can skip that. We can go straight to Charlie.
Litecoin LTC. Good old Charlie. I don't hear too much. Charlie, he really likes to sort of disappear into the weeds when he's not in the spotlight, eh? It's fascinating. Have you heard much from him these days? Either of you?
I haven't heard a peep.
Yeah.
I think they did like a privacy update. I remember, like you can make transactions private or something.
Oh, you mean on Litecoin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll have a look into it. So.
Well, interesting. We're coming up to an interesting support line here, right? I suppose for the bulls, we're really actually this is probably a really good application of that high to low trend line concept. Hey, look at that. So pivot high, pivot low, doink. I tell you, some of the stuff we use at TRI actually works. So I mean, you've always heard me talk about what I often find happens, maybe you've heard me, maybe you hadn't, is markets love to put W's in right off 78.6s. It drives me crazy. I see it happen so often. Kind of in the middle of value here right now, so unless there's some great, pressing need, I don't see any reason why we can't trade back down to the bottom of value. Be interesting, and this is looking at Coinbase. Is this the place where we should be looking at? I wonder what the best place to look at this would be. Anyway, it might be interesting to see if there's any gaps along the way up here. Looks pretty smooth. Oops. Might be a little one right there. There's a gap. You've often heard me say I love candle body lows for trade location. So you can totally tell at some point down the road there's totally going to be a trade that sets up off of that level. But we'll keep that gap in mind there. Anything else? Looks like there might be one, a little one there. Come down. It's relatively clean. It doesn't look bad. Actually, San has a script. In fact, oh yeah, look at that. I already have it on here. Oh, what a doofus. Oh yeah, look at all these gaps. There's a bunch of gaps here. So, San, I don't know. I haven't seen him on the site too much recently. But anyway, he built this little gap finding script. So, I do like there's still, when this bull sort of calms down and it finishes all its nonsense and everybody sort of forgets about crypto again, I do like a tag of that level right in there. So, what I've been sort of suggesting to people, and actually it would kind of make sense here, is I think there is going to be a counter trend rally this spring. How long lasting it is, I don't know. I could very easily see if this is the low. I don't know whether it is or not. But I could see a counter trend rally. Mountain Man here, up into that level. 50% roll. There's Collins' dump chaser zone. So, is this the bottom? Maybe. We can say check yes to location. So that's good. Do we have momentum divergence in place? Looks like we got another one of these momentum wedges. So no divergence. So you can kind of see boobity boo. Boobity boo. So we're building towards something here. So until that resolves, I would be leery. And of course, like I've always said to you guys, usually what happens with these, you get a big flare up one direction and then a big thump in the other direction. So you can kind of see there was one here. Here to here, and here to here, and you see it goes woohoo, and then crash, and then look at this, woo, even more. So this one turned out to be a megaphone. So not really tradable information you can use with these wedges. You just gotta let them play themselves out. Of course, I'm a big fan of momentum divergence. This thing looked like it had like a bull div working here, and then actually that low kind of it did hold, so there is a bit of a div in here. So that probably explains, like the div I guess came in here, and then you have to look for a W following that div there. So did we actually get a W here? This looks like another one of David's Adam, and actually this looks a little, well, yeah, this looks like an Adam and Steve as well. So there's Adam, and then not one, but Steve. So this is like a head and shoulders in here. Which usually means that this head and shoulders plays itself out, so that's what that target is right there. And then once that's done, then we have to probably come back down and check this trend line here. So like there to there. So also too, I suppose we can make an argument, a couple things. Remember that MACD momentum picture? So I wouldn't be surprised at the snapback. We're coming into, there's Mountain Man, there's 78.6. That's the most recent M top. So we're coming into some resistance area. All right, guys that bought this rally here, they want to get out. So we've got that, and my hunch is probably if you start looking at momentum here, this has been going up for quite a while. We'll probably even start to see divs coming in on the bear side. Nothing yet, nothing yet. Willie is not quite stupid, so actually Willie could go a little bit higher here. But my hunch is up into this area here, and we're probably going to start running out of steam, so be forewarned. This actually, this looks a lot like our little DI indicator right now. Sometimes when you get like the bull move, you can see the market just goes straight up. Sometimes it just is a long, slow grind. But the problem is that you can only stretch the rubber band so far, and you can even see 8s and 9s in the Tom DeMark. So this is getting a little old in the, long in the tooth, as they say. Now, if we probably go down to a 4-hour, that's probably where you see the bear div starting to form. Yeah, OBV has not gone to new highs. RSI has not gone to new highs. And MACD is sort of waffling up there at the top. It hasn't really broken down yet. And then, of course, there's Willie Stupid on the overbought there. So, I don't think it's a good idea to buy there. That seems a little dangerous. But, if you are adventurous and you believe in good old Charlie, and I suppose wherever this top comes in, you're going to draw your fib against this low. And, interesting, we do have this trendline confluence here, so you got some support to work with. And I would strongly suggest that you go into like super spidey stalking mode down here. All right, you get something like that, and you're in business. So keep your eyes peeled for that. So I'm gonna say I don't like the momentum picture because I think this is a momentum wedge. So it's not really it's not the kind of divergence I really like. This wedge here, I think this has to play out. If anything, the fact that we're breaking above the Bollinger Band here, you can see when we break above it, that's kind of near the end of the move, and then we got to do a move back down to the bottom of the band. So this is the move, right? Which tells me that if you're not in it from the bottom down here, you've kind of missed the trade. So I would say for our checklist, I like the location. But indicator confirmation, I'm not quite ready there yet to give that vote. In fact, probably look on a weekly, yeah. So weekly probably tells us a little bit better. There is that bottom. If anything, like to see this big honkin' div here confirm. That would be awesome. Willie Stupid on the weeklies. That's good. So this thing's pretty darn washed out. And at some point down the road, at the very least, we should be expecting probably into early spring a rally up to test this trend line and 38.2s and Collins dump chaser zone. So there is this rally window. How you take advantage of that, I don't know. That's up to you. So I'm going to say has location, but that's about as far as we can go right now. Which is good. I mean, this is a good thing, if you're a nanny nibbler. There's somebody posted a chart that looked a lot like this in the lounge today, and I just said, hey, the one thing nobody can accuse you of is chasing an up market. So that's good. And half of the reason why people lose money in this game is because they chase up markets. They're just so doofus. It's ridiculous. So hats off to anybody who's interested in buying Litecoin, because the irony of it all is that down the road, the damn bottom's going to come in off this 78.6. So we're basically there anyway. Anyway, that's Brian being facetious. All right, so there's the chart, and I would say location, yes. No indicator confirmation and no market structure to work with. So that works out. All right, next up on the hit list, Cosmos. This is one of yours you like, eh, Nick? I seem to remember you always like this one.
Yeah, I really like the fundamental story on the ecosystem. I don't really care either way on the Atom token itself.
Ooh, that's a bit expensive. Cheap-ass Brian's not going to pay up for that. So, we can definitely say location, no. I suppose if you could grind away, it'd be interesting to see if we made a new high here. 44.80. 44.65, so 44.80, and this high is 44.70, 43, 44.56, 44.80. Nope, so we did not make a new high. So that's interesting. There must be just a world of supply up here. Somebody is They've just got a hard on to sell. If this thing gets up into here, and I don't know, is it a function of some sort of algorithm or something that at these levels the price is just absolutely crazy overvalued? I don't know. Any input, gentlemen?
It doesn't have the best tokenomics. There's not a lot of reason to hold the token. That's why I love the ecosystem, but I don't usually carry too much Cosmos unless I'm in a certain liquidity DeFi pool that I want to be getting yield with, and I need some of the token for that. That's the only time I've ever held this.
All right. Maybe that might be a reason why nobody really sells it, is because nobody really buys it either. Just sort of drifting along. Every time they add a new user, it just adds more users, right? So does this thing like appeal to a whole broad base of blockchains and applications and stuff?
I mean, it is the internet of blockchains is their motto. So like Terra is built on Cosmos, and Crypto.com that we talked about is built on Cosmos, and Thorchain that Seord has been enamored with lately. That's on
Is that
Cosmos.
Ruin?
Yeah, Ruin.
Interesting.
So I mean, there's a ton of different like really exciting protocols built in the Cosmos ecosystem. It's just the Atom token itself, at least right now, doesn't have a ton of value in my mind.
Fair enough. You know, you can see where, you know, the Beamish would be excited. I mean, look at that beautiful triple bottom there, you know, with indicators all Wing out and stuff. In fact, that's like Kalino, I think we call it on the site now. Nice looking little trade right there. So that's, even that high is $14.80. So you're literally coming in and paying twice that price. Ugh. So, you know, I mean, I'm not going to dog the network. I'm not going to dog the fundamentals. You know, if you guys think this thing's the shit, then it's the shit. But that doesn't necessarily mean I want to buy it here. So, Collins Pump Chaser Zone, 38.2 to 50%. Interesting, you had that, excuse me, that big tail. Really good example. This candle at one point, right, beep, it opened up. Price went down, so that means there's a bunch of sellers. Then it reversed, and then it just took off like a rocket. So that means there's a whole bunch of trapped bears all in this tail. You know, this is great. Like if you're watching these videos and you'd like to try and learn, you know, this is the shit that you have to learn. Is when you see that tail actually means that if price does come back down into this range, the people that did short here and did sell here, they're going to want to reverse those positions. So you look over time and gee whiz, notice the market comes down into that level, and every time it dips down into here, it just gets bought up, and then woohoo! And even, look at this, you know, you hear me talk about candle body lows for trade location. Look at that, eh? Ben, if you'd stuck your bid in right at that level, what do you think? Could you go and boast to Nick? Look at me. I trade your Cosmos coin like a boss. Look at that, eh? I mean, if you're here to learn like little tricks on how to kill the market, that's the shit that you're here to learn. I mean, damn, that's stone cold. So, you know, and this feels like deja vu. But what I think is going on here is top end of the range, bottom end of the range. You know, that big old tail there, all those trapped bears. That definitely is the bottom end of the range in my eyes. And we're just playing ping pong, back and forth, back and forth. And my hunch is we're probably going to head back up top here. Problem is Brian's a cheap ass. Alright, so do we trend continuation? It's interesting that this was the high. So technically we could do our count. Like if we change this to bot levels. Alright, so we didn't go beyond 66 here. So one low, two lows, maybe you got a third low down in here somewhere. And then you can start thinking, oh, hey, you know, maybe this is going to like A, B, C, D our way higher up into the next leg. Well, I could see that. Where's that? That is right there. So, actually interesting. You can see quite a war going on here, right? And really, just also along those themes of the wicks and tails, hopefully what you guys see is it looks like that's the top end of a range now. And that tail, right, candle body lows, trade location, totally killer sick. That's the bottom end of the range. Right.
Question for you. Since we did trade past the 50 mark there, would we have to recount, start at 1 again?
No. No, because I only really start measuring like the 50 level as sort of concerning after I see the sort of 3 higher lows. I mean, I don't like the fact that it's rallied up here, because really you could make the argument that we were supposed to are we supposed to take a trade at a trend line here like this? And you can see that because that is a higher high. This is like a major brick wall of resistance. Doink, doink. So what I think happens here is if this does go and like W out here and you sneak in, it's probably going to come up here, and then it's going to come down here, and it's going to do this and drive you crazy. And really that's the hallmark of a trading range. You might even argue, considering how close the 50% level is, it almost looks to me like the 25 is almost exactly the midpoint of this range. Is this really the best setup for the bot? I mean, I like it when the bot spits out those kind of steep trend lines, and then you can get, I guess this is getting messy. Right, so if it's a steep trend line, then you can get like a nice solid W on the other side. It's nice and clean. Breakout, away we go. This trend line being so flat like that means, like I said, I think this is a brick wall of resistance. And if you did get in on this trade, what you'd really want to see happen, if we can like W out something like that, what you want to see happen is it break through the trend line. Of course, all the noobs are going to come in and buy that. But then what you want to see is you want to see the structure come in on top of that trend line. And if I saw something like that, I might go, you know what, this is a bot into itself, so let's go and add to the trade. So I would... yeah, so something like that, just eyeballing it, right? Obviously not the best. Move down just a little bit so all the numbers fit. Something like that. They still don't fit. Sorry. Anyway, I'm just trying to get this to hit that 33. I'm wasting time here. Anyway, something along those lines, right? I would actually consider about adding to the trade right here. And so I would actually have 2 cars on. So that's how powerful that signal would be if we broke through that trend line and then put in any kind of structure on top of it. That would be very, very bullish. So anyway, getting back to our primary objective here. And actually we've seen a few of these now tonight, which is interesting. Because remember last week when we looked at them, we actually saw a few names that were putting in some really great looking bottoms, eh? Now tonight we've run into a few names that look like this. There's not really a trade here. This is like potential bot setup, and that's about as far as you can go. So I don't know how we did that with that other one. But I would just say this looks like was that this one? No. And here's Cosmo. I would say, yeah, like how did you do that? Yeah, like yes bot kind of thing. How I did that. There we go. And then I'd say no and no. So something like along those lines. But not a lot of value. So it's interesting how and these are these big DeFi names, eh? This kind of makes sense. Did you guys watch the Daily Brief today?
Yes.
So this is sort of like my conversation. I think DeFi is like energy right now. So DeFi's had these huge run up, just massive, ridiculous runs up, right? And they're still super strong. So how the fuck do you trade them? You can't nanny nibble little old lady DeFi here. I mean, you can't do that on Luna right now. That's for damn sure. I mean, maybe something like a Solana. Is Solana out of the penalty box yet? But even that, sort of, basically, that's the same thing, eh? I'm not quite sure why I decided to go here. But, actually, interesting enough, that looks a lot like that other one as well. So I wonder if DeFi, like, what am I thinking right now? I'm thinking... I think Luna is the hottest DeFi name around right now, isn't it? I mean, would you agree with me, or maybe not?
Of the big names, I'd probably say yes.
Yeah, so you can't come in and say, well, Brian, I'm going to little old lady this, and I'm going to cheap-ass my way in. Stuart says, sorry, this party ain't for you. So I think the only way that you can really participate with DeFi here, realistically, I think, is trend continuation thinking. I'm seeing this theme over and over again. It'd be interesting to take a look at these, because this is our DeFi perp index, right? So we probably should see that. And now, wow, look at that, eh? Son of a gun. Yeah, okay. So we're seeing a lot of this, eh? So this isn't going to be like nanny nibble cheap ass Brian trying to get in on the cheap. That's down here. But I think you can make the argument. It sure looks to me like this thing's trying to bottom at the bottom of that range down there, eh? What do you think? Am I crazy? Look at that, eh? So, I mean, how do you sneak in on this? I don't know whether this is a full 66. It looks like it is. Oh, yeah. So this is even beyond 66. So it's interesting how that's just making a big-ass triangle, eh? Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, off on a tangent. Sorry about that. One index that I did see looked really interesting this morning is look at the poop coins. Poop coins actually look a little bit more bullish than DeFi right now, to be honest with you. That's, I guess, maybe Litecoin looks a little bit better. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Off on a terrible tangent there. Chainlink. Where do we want to look at this one?
I mean, probably most exchanges will have a lot of history for this, but I'd just do Binance. I do got to run though, Brian. I'm sorry.
Take it easy, bud. Great having you on board, Nick. Good luck on the trip, and let us know. But report in from the road. Do one of those Al Franken reports in.
I will definitely be on the site. I'll be in the chat room.
This coming Tuesday's class, Trading with the Dom. This is a really fun class. And if we're lucky, we can get Daniele to come over from his website and lecture you guys a little bit on trading with the Dom and the order flow. So don't miss Tuesday's class. Tuesday's class is a really good class.
I'll be there.
All right. Anyway, take it easy, bud.
Thanks. Night.
All right, Ben. Okay, you have to give me all the secrets of the interneting now. So what do we do? Do we buy this chain link?
I don't know. Let's do some analysis on it.
Yeah, there you go. Turn it around on me. We seem to be having this same conversation repeatedly tonight. These corrections a little bit too far for bullish bot sort of trend continuation trades. But because we did break these lows, structurally, we're not really setting up that strong here. Reload zones, 61.8, 78.6. You can see this big tail here. Candle body lows for trade location. That sure looks like an interesting level there, right? Look at that, doink. That's probably why the market has bounced a bit here. It's just because we ran into that support zone there. Don't like it when I see the market sort of ask whether it wants to be in value and it's sort of accepting into value. That's a little bothersome. Because usually it means we have to come right back down to the bottom here. And of course you got this boom right there. This would be an interesting one to see sort of the fundamental take. Actually, where's Chris? Chris said that he might want to jump into the call tonight. Chris, are you over on YouTube? Maybe we'll bring him in here. Hey, look at that. We got 16 people on YouTube. Woohoo! But I guess I don't see Chris here. Remember, he said he was thinking. He said he. Chris Blue, there he is. Yeah. Well, Chris, if you want to PM me, or maybe you did PM me. What is this? Oh, there's Zach. Yeah, there you are. Hey, if you feel like popping in here, I'll give you the link. I don't know, Ben. Do you want some company?
Sure. Yeah. Let's bring him on in.
Feel free to join us since our other two have flaked out on us. Yeah. There you go, Chris. If you feel like popping in, feel free to join us. He doesn't join. Anyway, I suppose here's a good example of that high to low trend line concept. So high to low. Still pretty far away from key support. You saw how we did that on that other one. Was it Litecoin or something like that? And it was like right into support. So I don't know whether we actually... I don't know whether we've actually bottomed here yet or not. I'm going to say location is fine. As good technicians, we don't really want to chase. We want to wait for the market to come back down the bottom end of range. Little old ladies can start nibbling away. Hey, there's Chris. Hello, Chris. How are you this evening? So what do you think, Chris? Should we buy this this chain link here?
Hey. Evening, folks. Evening, everyone.
Hey, no slacking here, dude. You got to tell us what to do. Do we buy or sell? Got to know now. Come on, tell me. The future, Liam's future rests on the words coming out of your mouth next.
I say buy it.
Oh, there we go. All right.
There you go.
Thank you,
Bounced
sir.
off of 78.6. All right, let's do that.
All right. So we'll work a bid. So we're not allowed to pay $15.78. We got to work a bid at 11.68. What the hell? So location, it's all right. Candle body lows. That was probably an interesting level down there. I'd probably, the interesting thing is if this thing is a buy, it's not going to just go zing zing. It's probably going to make like some sort of saucer bottom and really explore this level. So, like Chris said, and I think I even said earlier tonight, I can't tell you how many times in the damn market I see this, and maybe it doesn't do this, maybe it does that, right? And the darn thing ends up bottoming right off that 78.6, so... Maybe wait for that, use that, and go, well, let's see, Beamish. I'm going to watch over the next 6 months. Let's see what happens. But if I was a betting man, I'd say something along those lines is going to happen. So, and that means that I probably want to try and buy maybe around, I don't know, $12, $13, somewhere in there. So, probably also, too, if you want to time your purchase, probably a good idea to wait for a W. Oh, isn't that interesting? So maybe we have to push this out one more go. Something like that. Really, if you can get that W on the other side of the trend line, man, does it ever save you a lot of heartache. So try and remember that, folks. So our little spreadsheet, Chris, for whatever it's worth, we're just putting whether we have trade location, which in this case I think we do. I mean, it's in that area. Do we have indicator confirmation? No, not yet. You can see it's trying to div out here. Willie is stupid, so that's good. No buying interest here volume-wise. We did have a little bit of a spike, but since then, nothing. So indicator-wise, nope, not ready yet. And no price structure, because obviously we have to have indicator confirmation before we want to hunt price structure. So that's that one. I think we'll just go no and no. All right, who's up next? Near. All I remember when I think about near is girls used to use that stuff to shave their legs. You guys remember that?
Isn't that Nair?
Yeah, something like that. She wears short shorts. Do you guys remember that? He wears short. Well, I guess
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Anyway. All right, Near, where do you think we should look at this? And I don't know, is there anything pressing, before we move on, is there anything pressing news-wise that either of you guys know? I remember Chico Crypto, he really liked this story. And somebody was saying that they saw another video of his. So is he back in making videos again about crypto?
Yeah, I just watched one of his videos earlier today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he's still making them.
Back in the stream, all right. And does he still like this thing?
I believe it's one of his base favorites. I like it personally. I think there's a hackathon coming up in the month of April, so there's always stuff going on with Chainlink, and they're the cryptographic truth layer, I guess, Oracle layer, stuff like that.
Anything you want to add, Ben?
No, nothing to add.
Adam says Link staking soon. So I guess it's turning into a POS coin. All right. I'll take that as a yes. All right, so location, cool. Want to wait for some indicator confirmations? Not a bad idea. Want to wait for that trend line to break out and then a W on the other side of it? Not a bad idea. But could you start accumulating? It's not terrible. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Near. And you're just thinking we should do Tether here on Binance? Does anybody question the actual value of a Tether anymore? Is that is that conversation basically over now? Do people ever talk about that stuff anymore?
I haven't heard people talk much about Tether other than just bashing it. I have stayed away from Tether for years, so that's my take on that.
What do you think of the Luna stablecoin? Do you like that shit?
I have a little bit of Luna staking over on Anchor. I don't think it's too bad. UST.
What's your favorite?
I use a lot of USDC. I don't know if that's much better than Tether, but it's Circle's stable coin, and it's over on Polygon, and I'm on Polygon a lot more than other chains. So
so you and Nick would get along well.
I get along with a lot of people.
Well, that's, hopefully you guys hear the TRI people, they're just the best fucking people. I'm a doofus, but you guys are awesome.
Especially TRIers.
Yeah, you guys are really, really nice people. So that doesn't surprise me at all, Chris. All right, so what's our thoughts on this thing? Ben, any thoughts? Do you have any idea what the hell these guys do?
No, I was just looking, just a little thing on Tether. I know that they were basically, they had like a lawsuit where they had to come out and show what was backing a Tether.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Did that ever get to court?
Well, I'm not sure. There was a fine involved that they had to pay, and there was a level of transparency that they had to start kind of reporting to the public. And I think one of the biggest issue was the amount of commercial paper backing it. And it was pretty vague on what that was, but I think they've just announced recently that they slashed that by 20% or something. So
back to US dollars.
I think maybe Treasury.
US Treasuries.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what exact.
How ironic. Crypto's backing is backed by US Treasury bonds. That's great.
Yeah, Treasury bills, yeah.
T-bills, oh, even better.
There you go.
They're even more worthless. But shh, don't say that.
Yeah, I think people might have been a bit afraid that a lot of the commercial paper might have been in like Evergrande or something like that.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I tell you, if you're watching this and you're the public, be careful out there. The bubble is just about to pop. Jupiter has crossed Saturn. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. Dun, 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 dun. No? Okay. All right. So, do we have any idea what the hell these guys do? Do you know, Chris? Near. Should we go to CoinGecko and see what the hell they have to say?
I want to say they're a scalability solution somehow, some way. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. I should not be speaking on this.
Yeah. Well, they're number 23, so they got to be something important. Do these guys do? Okay, let's see. We got is a shared developer-friendly proof-of-stake public blockchain built by a world-class team that has built some of the world's only sharded databases at scale. Well, damn, I got to go buy some now. That was cool. Does that make any sense to you guys at all? Anyway, I'm just having some fun. I've had a couple beers. Sorry, everybody. It's terribly facetious. Hey, I gotta have my life savings in this thing. Don't dog this story, Beavis, you jerk. Anyway, can't really comment on the fundamentals. So, one thing I will say, I don't really like investing in coins that have a gazillion coins out. But I get the impression with a lot of these type of stories that if they have other blockchains built on top of them and protocols and stories and they're thriving, then that's not that big of a deal. Market cap here, $7.9 billion. Circulating supply, 658 million. So you ain't coming in on the ground floor on this, that's for sure. This is a weekly chart. I think you can clearly see where the last sort of bottom was. And actually, that looks like just about exactly the time that Luna put in its bottom last year, right? Doesn't that chart look awfully similar to Luna? I don't know. Maybe that did that last. Yeah, look at that, eh? Very similar. So there must have been some sort of there must be something associated with these two. There's Luna, and then there's the Near. And I remember that Luna, there was some guy who hacked it and was just about to break the whole thing. So I don't know whether this is related to that or not. You can't really say you're coming in and buying value. So I think all you really can say is if you are going to try and participate, how on earth do you sneak in on an existing trend? This is probably just about 66. It looks awfully close, eh? So really, a guy like me, I mean, the good part about this is this was a V-top, so that's basically straight up, straight down. So really all you need is, can I just please get some sort of W or something to help me frame my risk here? Right now, that's a little bit premature to call a bottom. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that that's in divergence. It doesn't look like it is. You got a bit of a volume div. So there's a lot of interest through here. And then not so much. And then the interest has waned appreciably here. Probably if we get and we already have gotten that, weekly bar less than 73 million, that would be a bit of a sign that the bulls have fallen asleep. And it looks like the bears are tempted to fall asleep here too. So momentum-wise, I don't really see a hell of a lot. And same thing, you can kind of see it on RSI. We're sort of just drifting here. And Willie's not really overbought or oversold, just sort of middle of the road. So, as I said there a few minutes ago, a name like this, it's awfully, and it's funny how a lot of the names this week, where we've gone through this, because last week, geez, remember like the dot and stuff? Man, we had a couple names that just look so sexy. A lot of these kind of names, they're just like, meh, no big deal. It's not really nothing to get too excited about. If anything, this looks like an inverted head and shoulders, which means, it's sloppier than heck. It's not pretty at all. Actually, probably, I always like to ask myself, what would David see? David's our in-house sort of head and shoulders And I think this is an Adam and Eve. So Adam, and then actually that's a pretty good looking Eve. Eve actually looks really well developed there. So I think that's your play. And if that's the case, like I said, your upside objective here would be boom, 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 boom. And then boom, 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 boom up there. And that's probably a reload zone of that range. Oops. Let's try that again. There. Yeah, so right up into Mountain Man. Wicks and tails like to be eaten, and trapped bulls. You can see there's a whole bunch of trapped bulls in that wick right up there. They'd probably like to get out, and then of course that's that old high. So that's almost like a shoulder over here. So up in that area is probably good for a nice little pop. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I suppose if you're like a super bull of this thing, you really like that story. Even right now, you could just buy that breakout level and risk to this W. And then the question is that a 2 to 1? 2.2 to 1. Yeah, so 2 to 1. That's right in that area there. It's not a terrible idea. As those guys are going, oh God, thank God, I finally get to sell this thing and get off the couch. You're going to be like, all right, well, I'll sell too and I'll make a bunch of money. Woohoo! So, and actually this is also a really good analogy. Can you kind of see how the market is asking whether it wants to be above value here? So it looks like it's trying to like literally put in a shelf here right at sort of the top of the POC here. And probably the profile wants to look something like a parabola. Yeah, so something like that. So you can see how this part of the profile is pretty much filled in. This part is amputee. So, it's not something I'd be interested in, kind of middle of the road. It's, if anything, I'd almost, to make it worth your while, I'd almost think I'd want to try and squeeze a bot out of this. And if that's the case, I mean, this is it's suspect, it's iffy. But if I go something like that, and then like that, and then like that, yeah, notice the 25 level is basically this shelf. So interesting how the 2 to 1 is the 50% level of the bot. So if you just strictly traded the bot, you would move your stop to scratch on that event. Maybe what would be a good idea is if you did take this trade, sell half at the 2 to 1. So you made a bit of money, make money from trading, all that bullshit. And then move your stop to scratch on the remaining and see if we can get lucky and get a nice little pop here up into the spring and summer. I guess that's probably the way I looked at this. Something like that. Maybe if you're lucky, you get a nice little pop like up into here. Get the fill in the second half up there. So I think probably this is the same sort of thing where we'd say yes to location, bot. Don't really have a hell of a lot of indicator confirmation. This is actually probably a good example of a Kalino, aka Davo, sort of. It's not really the best looking W here though. But you can see W and RSI, W and Willie. These are really wide W's though, so not the cleanest. Yeah, I think I kind of like the bot, I think I would just go with that. So I would say, actually I would say yes for bot. I don't know about indicators. Probably a no. I mean, just might as well be strict about that. But yeah, it's, there's some positives here. Like this RSI looks like it's Wing out here. And then price structure, if you want to trade the bot, I think actually it's there. So I'd say everything's a go for the bot. But not a value trade. So, let's see, I go like that. I go like that. Yeah, it kind of makes sense if we go all the way up there and then all the way up there. I think this thing's going to take a run up top here. So, I'll believe it at that. It's not bad. We have any idea? Did we figure out what the heck these guys do? I wonder. Oh, darn, I did that again.
They're a DeFi protocol, but going back to what you mentioned before about that lunar correlation, they did have the UST deployed on their Aurora ecosystem
Okay.
back last year. And then there's also a new integration with the Terra, Solana, and Cello ecosystem coming.
Okay.
There's some kind of bridging.
Yeah, so how is all that bridging stuff going? Are we getting any closer?
I mean, it's made leaps and bounds from when I first started.
Yeah.
You know, in crypto, nothing could really communicate with each other, and yeah, it's.
Yeah, I think AnySwap is if it's still called AnySwap. I think that's the bridge that I use or have used most recently. It's become a lot easier. You can hop from like Binance Chain to Polygon or Polygon, Ethereum, and back and forth. It's gotten a lot easier.
Cool. Wow. Hopefully that'll bring the fees down for Ethereum and stuff. Be interesting if all those bridging things actually sort of bring the bull market and the big coins to a grinding halt. I'd find that. That'd be interesting. Does Ethereum get pulled down, or do all these other small chains get pulled up? I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, it's an interesting story to see unfold for sure.
Okay, somebody asked over on US Tubus. The interesting thing with this year, Jay says, so what's going to happen with the sell in May and walk away? And because the market basically topped last year, I mean, that was an absolutely textbook sell in May and walk away. And we've done nothing but basically go down for one straight year solid here. I don't think that you're going to get a seasonal top this May. I think, ironically enough, and just to answer that question, I won't go into too much detail. But what I'm telling people on the site, and I don't know whether you're going to like this answer or not, but this is basically what I believe. The only problem is, where the hell do I have all this stuff? Not there. Where did I put it? This will be over here. I'm talking to the site people what expectations for this year. I'm really following what we call the decennial report, which just basically asks what typically happens in any given year in a decade, and then just goes back and look at all the years that end in that same number over the past century or two, and that's generally an average is what you're thinking. And these are one of these funny years where there really isn't much of a seasonal rally. In fact, if you break this down, it almost looks like basically we have a shitty market for the first half of the year. And then the second half of the year, oh my goodness. And I think that's what's going to happen here, folks. I wouldn't be surprised, believe it or not, if there's another big wave of this sickness and we have to go through another big close down. And that means we got to have another big stimulus package. And that's what launched the bull market in March 2000. The whole bull rally that you guys have seen that got guys like Danny, turned him into millionaires and maybe a billionaire. That was all predicated on the free money that was handed out that March of 2000. So is that what has to happen here mid-year to launch us into the next cycle wave? I don't know. I don't think so, because I think that the U.S. economy is incredibly strong. And I hate to say it, but even my show co-hosts, if I'm not mistaken, 2 out of 3 of my show co-hosts just went and either bought or constructed a new home. Now, Ben, how's the house going?
Yeah, I think we were lucky we got in when we did, because there's
Well, I'm hearing a lot of
a
people
lot of inventory
did.
out there.
I think a lot of people did what you did. They went and they locked in and all that. But poor people don't go and buy new houses. I mean, I hate to say it. If you're broke, the last thing in the world you're going to do is go buy a new house. So I'm thinking that the consumer, and you hear it from the Fed people, they're saying, man, the U.S. economy and the U.S. consumer is strong. So I actually believe that we get into sort of May, June, July, you should be looking for that pivot to buy. And, that's the way seasonality works. I mean, we used to joke. I mean, the seasonality trade in the commodities business was so bad that the regulators forced us, every single thing that we sent out, it had to have this one line right across anything that was marketing. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Because, and it like everything had to have it stamped on it. So the person, when they got it in the mail, they go, whoa, okay, maybe these seasonality trades aren't guaranteed. Right? I mean, it's really bad. When are you supposed to buy your unleaded? Let's see if my co-hosts know how the pitch goes. When are you supposed to buy your unleaded?
Middle of February.
Thank you. When are you supposed to sell your unleaded?
May.
Middle of May. So it's pretty good. You made money how many of the past 10 years?
9 out of 10.
These guys never been commodity brokers, and they already know the pitch. I think Chris, we could work a little bit on his confidence, right? You got to say, you got to buy 9 out of the past 10 years. Right? Really drive it home. So the guy's like, holy shit, I got to buy today. I got to buy now.
I got to get my sales pitch a little bit better. You're right.
How could you tell I was a commodities broker? Why? And, it's so funny I lived that life. The life that I live talking with you guys on YouTube and running this website, I mean, you could not have more polar opposites. You really couldn't. Anyway. All right. I'm trying to make a positive difference in this world. That's the whole point of this. So, to your question, what's going to happen with sell in May and walk away? I do like the idea that May, June's going to be pretty weak, but I think it's actually going to set up for a hell of a second half of the year. And the interesting thing is I think the Americans actually do relatively well, but I think the world economy is going to get punched in the bloody nose here this fall. But if you want more on that, feel free to join TRI's, even the 30-day trial, really, for that matter. And listen to Brian's 2-3 hour rants every day about the coming end of the world. if you're international, if you're in the United States, you'll do fine. All right, back to our regular scheduled broadcast. What was I supposed to be talking about? I think actually we came to the list. I'm not sure. It looks like Nick filled out us to get to here. What do you think? Should we keep banging on? We got, I guess, about another half hour, or do we want to just take more questions from the audience? Do you guys have questions? Any name you guys want to look at? What do you think we should do? I'm open to suggestions. Somebody says,
Yeah,
Brian,
I can check the YouTube.
Sorry?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say we could check the YouTube.
Yeah, okay. Somebody says,
Joe, can I
check
second that?
ARRR. What the hell is ARR? Hey, you know what I noticed is my little piece of shit farming name is actually bottoming out. So anybody who went in on with me with my Korean barbecue stock, I hope you're paying attention because it looks like it's about to do something. Is ARRR a crypto or is it a stock? What's that? Pirate chain? Oh, I remember this, and it was like a joke. Arr, right? This is from last year. So interesting how it's only on 2 chains. Is it primarily DeFi? Do either of you two know about this?
I think it's a privacy coin.
This is the first time I'm hearing of this coin. I'm not a cool kid on this one.
Well, you can see last summer, right?
And
I do remember. I remember that SHIB, right, and all that shit. When those things were going crazy, that's when this thing was going crazy. But holy moly, did it ever punched out? I seem to recall that Nick's saying things like, "What would be the reason to own this?" If I understand correctly, there's a lot of coins out on this thing. So let's see how much is out here. Number is. You see where it says here?
I think you scrolled past it. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
here
up
we
there.
go. Circulating supply 191 million. Total supply is 200 million. So that means there's only what 9 million left that they can issue. I wonder how that works. Do they like? I don't know whether this is POS or POW. Does it say on here which one it is? I suppose they got. Let's see what their Twitter says. They do. Most anonymous and private cryptocurrency. Privacy by default. ZK Snarks. Z to Z transaction only. Largest anonymity set. 51% attack resistance. In an effort to continually improve the pirate chain documentation, that pirates have documents. Show me your papers, please. Check it out. pirate.black/white paper. Well, there you go. So if you really want to learn about this thing, probably best bet to hop on here. Anonymous digital cash. I guess just the simple thing I would say here is, if Big Brother decides to shit on cryptocurrency, is this kind of going to be the kind of name that's in their crosshairs? Is this the kind of thing that they're going to want to focus in on as stuff that maybe tax evaders might be using? What's the how does the political line go? Used to fund terrorist organizations, all that nonsense. So you always have to keep that in mind. I did find it interesting that when I first got into the space, I had always said that, first and foremost, I'll say this for the record, and somebody remember this down the road. I still think Bitcoin is a CIA pet project. But aside from that, I would say that if you think you're getting into cryptocurrency to be able to comfortably avoid Big Brother and the like, first off, if you can understand these things to the point of being able to run wallets and stake and all that kind of stuff, you're smarter than 95% of the population anyway. But what I've found with these is when push comes to shove, usually it's actually an insider that screws things over. So just be aware of that. And, I suppose how the sort of battles with Ripple and stuff goes will probably be a big influencer. I guess, Dash. How's Dash going these days? Do you guys ever hear about Dash anymore? That was their big thing, was anonymousness, wasn't it?
I don't know. It was, yeah. It's a privacy coin, but I did see it pop up on the dashboard this week in the TRO.
So technically, it's okay, eh? Ah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, that would
raining.
make sense, eh? I mean, there's W's. So that's kind of cool that happened. And I suppose that's some pretty strong price action there, right? There's some strength in there. So, and I suppose, can you make the argument that the Russians and all the oligarchs and stuff might use these things to evade the Americans? Could you make the argument that people are going to want to use these things to do things like fund the Canadian protest movement? Because if they do it publicly and they do it legally, the dictator leader of that country is just going to come along and steal your money from you. I mean, is that the kind of world that we're transitioning to? And so as a result, these things are actually realistic proxies? If anything, I would actually hope that we're not going to move into that world, but maybe that's what the price action here is suggesting. Are these coins getting a bit of a bid up here because of the whole Ukraine thing? I don't know. That would be an interesting debate. Technically speaking, there's actually looks like it just set up a trade. Believe it or not. I don't know whether you guys can see this, but boom, 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 boom. It's pretty good looking head and shoulders. And you always like when the right shoulder is lower, or excuse me, higher than the left shoulder. That's always a good sign. And then also too, in this shoulder, geez, that's a pretty darn good looking base there, right? Look at that. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Holy beautifulness. Right, I might even argue that this probably is a bot setup. And that's usually how I used to find bot setups when I would use the bot for trading commodities. Is I would be looking for a market that's put in a double bottom. I mean, clearly this is the shit level down here, right? I mean, look at that, eh? Down, up, down, breakout. If you want to get good at trading, you got to be able to hunt this kind of stuff. And, if we were saying trade location, the only problem with this is we've already busted through these old lows. So what the hell's the bottom on these things? That always gets really scary. You might want to look at this and go, well, what's an algorithmic approach, i.e., I'm going to look at this on a log scale. So on a log scale, you notice that we can go this range here to here. Well, so that's there to there. I'm trying to get it so it draws that. Then I'm going to clone that. And I'm just going to take it down to there. So that's not a bad level to work with. And notice that's basically where we bottomed, eh? That's kind of cool, eh? So that's, I think, if you could say, well, Brian, do we have trade location? Believe it or not, I think it does make sense to me, believe it or not, that actually is a trade location. Ballsy as hell, don't get me wrong. Tough trade to take. But it does make sense. And W's are W's are W's. What do you think the odds are that this was a momentum divergence on this push to new lows? Yeah. So you can see MACD even did not go to new lows. RSI didn't go to new lows. Look at that beautiful W right there. Williams percentage R did not go to new lows. OBV did not go to new lows. So you got divs everywhere there. So the traders of the world, that's a hell of a fucking trade right there. Excuse my French. But hey, if we're talking traders, then I should be swearing like a motherfucking sailor, because usually they swear a hell of a lot. So 50% rule, just a natural bounce level. Ironically enough, that's actually a perfectly legit target right there. What I think happens here, though, and let's see if we change that back to regular. Yeah, this kind of makes sense. Is notice the size of this head and shoulders. How do we figure out? And actually, the level oneers just did this, sort of their introduction to fibs. What's the price objective of an inverted head and shoulders? I don't know. Ben, you know? What would be the objective of a Head and Shoulders?
2-1.
Yeah, well, basically a replication of the range. Do you take that high or do you use that high? That's a tough one. Let's just use that.
200%.
And so what we really want to do is just do an extension. Boom. So there's 200%. So interesting how, you know, the technicians out there, WD GAN fans and all that, they would just simply say the easiest technical target to ever have if you're... and it was funny because even when Bitcoin and Ethereum were doing this, I did a fireside chat video with Da Vinci there, and people couldn't believe. And well, I think they could believe, but like we looked at Ethereum and when it was down at like $100-$200, and we're like, well, it's probably going to like $700-$800, which was nothing more than just a 50% retracement of the sell-off. So $2.83 actually makes perfect sense. And the interesting thing is if this is a Head and Shoulders, its objective is basically just a replication of this range. So there to there, and just clone that. There to there, there's your target. So you asked me to look at this, and it's kind of cool. You know, this is a good story to look at. You're going to learn a lot from this chart. Who asked me to look at this? SIL, Sil. What do you think, Sil? You think I can come out and say, yeah, it's perfectly fine. Go and buy that there. You'll make tons of money. Anybody else? Actually, you know what this is also a really good example of is Colin's dump chaser zone. So I know Colin likes to use it for the pump chasers on the way up, but you can also use it going the other direction. This obviously is clearly a big M. So this is a bear market. So you can actually use this zone as a way to tell you, is the bear market actually over? And notice here, we're just banging up right now to 38.2. So I'll ask you again, Sil. What do you think? Should we step in and buy this here? Is that like a good place to think about buying this? I don't know whether Sil's even here or not. He's like, oh my God, he's putting me on the spot. Who is this motherfucker? I didn't even pay him anything. Leave me alone. What do you think, Ben? What do you think I'm going to say here? I think I'm going to say, yeah, that's a great place to go and buy.
I think you're going to say don't chase.
Oh, nice. Yeah, very well. Yeah, he knows me pretty good. That's good. Yeah, that's actually perfect. Don't chase, don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. I mean, you're asking me about this. I love this W here. Man, drinks are on you. You'd already be on 3-1. Yeah, triple your money. I like this as a 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. Right? You could even clone that and set up the bot levels. It's a little sketchy. I'll give you that. It's close. It is one of these kind of things like how comfortable are you as a trader? But bot trade, so that takes you up into there. Notice the 25 level basically set up perfectly off that WA. See, it kind of happens so bloody often. And actually, you know what this I think is this is actually an alt ABCD. So if you've ever seen, let's see, how am I going to do this? Have you ever seen, sometimes when you see on the internet, like you might see if you're surfing and stuff. And actually, this is a good little tutorial here for you guys. If you just go like AB equals CD harmonic pattern. Most cheat sheets will have something that looks like this. And you're like, what the fuck does that mean? But believe it or not, there's actually 3 different realistic outcomes of this AB equals CD pattern. And so this is technically harmonic people. This is look at Scott Carty's registered trademark of an ABCD pattern. I don't think so. I don't know how he's. It's funny people put this out here, but there's no fucking way he's going to be able to trademark an AB equals CD harmonic. That's ridiculous. I hate how people do that kind of stuff. Anyway, you can also see it. There's another one. I don't know whether this one's been trademarked. That's crazy. But you can see 127. Actually, that should be 127.8 too. 1.618. The point, and theoretically, or not theoretically, but according to the rules, and actually you even heard Nick talking about harmonics earlier. He loves harmonics. Most of the people that I introduce harmonics to, they're just like, wow. And we have some just killer harmonic traders on the site. So we have a whole room of the harmonicans. And they just have a great old time trading away, doing their harmonics. Anyway, theoretically, well, oh no, I said that before. This point D is supposed to be what they call a PRZ, or potential reversal zone. And this is the one reason why I don't like trading harmonic levels blindly. Like, I like to follow the 3-step setup. And I think this is a really good trade location tool, reason number one. But you can actually have all three of these levels are perfectly valid. So that's why I don't like to just short this regular 1-to-1 D here. I'll take profits heading into these levels if I'm long from below. But I don't like to blindly short that because sometimes you can get really bitch slapped hard. So, back to our story here. There's 100%. And actually, I think that's what that move was there. So all the classic ABCDs, this is a 1-to-1 symmetrical ratio. They all took profits on that event. But she wasn't done. And if you had just blindly shorted that, you would have been punched in the nose here. There's 127. Interesting, we got some play there. But I think we're heading up into this 1.618. Which is also, like I said, it's a valid ABCD. And, of course, there's that 200% of that inverted head and shoulders. Right into Colin's dump chaser zone. I like that thinking. So what that means is this is the end of the move, not the beginning. So if it's the end of the move and not the beginning, what's sort of our prognostication going forward? First thing I would say here is because this is a very well-defined fractal, we can actually do some Foggenbaum analysis. Whoa, there's a fancy schmancy term. And that this is what's called chaos theory. Try finding anybody on the interwebs that teaches chaos theory. I'd be curious, Chris, Ben, have either of you ever found anybody on the internet that teaches chaos theory?
Nope. Not I. Not me personally.
Thank you, Chris. Ben?
I found quite a boring lecture on YouTube, but it didn't give any of the tools that you teach. And it's nothing like, yeah. I
do like the mathematics guys when they explain the math, but they don't relate it to trading.
Right.
But anyway, I mean, you're not going to find this anywhere. And all you 19 people, and then hopefully there's a few people through the week that watch this that don't tell your friends. I mean, God, that my mission, and everybody on this site know, I don't know. Did you guys said you watched the Daily Brief today. Chris, you were there. What happens to Brian when he starts talking about his mission and what his wife asked him to try and do here in this world? Brian turns into a blubbering mess. Anyway, this is a really good example where nobody else teaches this on the internet. I only knew of one guy that I knew actually who was trading it, and he would never ever tell anybody about this and how he did it. So call me crazy. I mean, you guys are so freaking lucky that I'm sitting here and I explain all this shit to you guys. But anyway, that's not really what I was going for. What I really want you guys thinking is, all right, this is cool. This guy's, he's a nice guy. He's trying to help. All right, so back to our story. We've got our inverted head and shoulders targets. We've got our ABCD targets. So those are great tools. We've got our pump dump chaser zone targets. So all of these targets here, all of these levels, everything that I've talked to you tonight, incredibly useful, valuable information. And now let's sprinkle in a little bit of chaos theory. So if I was going to, we have a very well-defined fractal here, so that's really good. It helps us a lot. Off of this range, and let's see if I've programmed these guys pretty well. What's my first chaos level that I want to be thinking here? What's the first level where things should get a bit chaotic?
2.618.
No, thank you, sir. Ben, were you thinking that? I'm sure you were.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I want you to learn this, man. Oh, hello! Look at where 2.618 happens to pop in there. So this is actually what they call confluence. I'm getting a hell of a lot of reasons, whether it be 38.2 or 50% or head and shoulders 200% extension or alt ABCD or now chaos theory. Can you see? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons why price should work its way up into here. But when we get into here, what do you think the odds are that we just keep steamrolling our way through all that? Or maybe we're going to have to pull back. So the only thing I'll add to that is I would say that that's a hell of a lot of levels. And whenever you get that kind of confluence, probably the odds are we're probably going to stall out there. So if we do stall out there, well, then you're like, well, Brian, I want to buy, so what do I do? And what I would suggest you do is take your fib tool, and we'll just do like sort of middle of this range, and you draw it back against the low. And now you're going to throw on your reload zone. Boom. And what a coincidence. You notice the original bottom here, right? There's the double bottom that set up this whole damn thing right there. Look how that's basically right in the midpoint of that reload zone. So if I was interested in trading this, I would follow this high. I don't know where this is, but I got a funny feeling we're going to come into a top in the next few days. And I hate to say it, folks, but our internal tools that sort of help us sort of see when things are oversold and overbought and whether we should be thinking about buying or selling. If we look at crypto, we have to respect the fact that, damn, this market's jumped up a lot. And we've actually got to the point where everybody's all getting overbought again. Ah, Jesus H. Christ. So don't be, I guess, Steve. Alright, excuse me. Don't be surprised if, here's a really good analogy you can see. And this name is just like any other name. I mean, it's at a hell of a rally here, right? So could we maybe go and top out here and roll over and come back down? And things like the breadth indicator start to come back down and clean themselves up? I think so. So another reason why, just like Ben said there earlier, for God's sakes, don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. And if anything, I can't tell you exactly where I'd want to buy. All I can say is you're going to take your fib tool and you're going to drag it up to wherever we actually do stall out. And you notice that the reload zone doesn't really change a hell of a lot there, eh? You can see it sort of just oscillates around all around this area here. So that's, if I wanted to buy, this is the area where I'd want to buy. Probably somewhere around $1. That would probably be the cool place to be long. So, what do you think? Was that kind of educational? Was that a good walkthrough? Good use of our time? I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. It's great.
Oh, good. All right. I hope I didn't come across as cocky or arrogant or anything. But I got to tell you, man, Whether we have things like inverted head and shoulders, which give us, of course, I like to call this the parking garage, 1.618 up to 200%. Things like ABCDs and alt ABCD levels, things like chaos theory, things like Collins' dump chaser zones. Actually, this would be the dump chaser. There's a lot of really, really powerful information here I just gave you guys. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Also, too, I suppose, a big old stab up. You've often heard me talk about candle body highs for trade location. Notice there's that high there, and there's also that high there. So you can see if they're going to, if you're actually looking for short trade location, man, if you got stalls out up in this area up in here, that's probably the best short area right up in there. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. This is, we'll keep an eye on this. This one's kind of fun. We'll put it down at the bottom and maybe we'll come back to it at some point down the road. I'm not quite sure how we'll do this, but we'll just go, we'll call this Sill's request.
I think it's already there, right there at the bottom. It says pirate.
Oh, yeah,
chain.
do we already have it on here? Oh, that's what this one is.
Yeah,
Hey,
just
son of a
snuck
gun.
in.
All right, okay, well, there you go. You got an update. That's pretty handy. So let's, where do we put that? Yeah, I guess that was over here, right? So why don't we put that right there? There you go. Sil, Merry Christmas. And I'll even post that. Hopefully you're there. There's the link to my chart. So watch how that plays out. Maybe even give me some feedback. Let's even follow that in the comments or something in here. So maybe we get a little bit of traction from the Google algorithm and all that. All right. Well, what do you think, guys? It's 8 o'clock. We banged around for a couple hours. Did you have some fun here tonight, Ben?
Yeah, always. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And what do you think, Chris? You feel like you can hang with us a bit maybe in the future? Who knows? Great having you on board.
I might be able to stop by more often.
Cool. Derek, I think, is going to take a bit of a back seat. He said life, unfortunately, is getting in the way a little bit. So we will be looking for a new co-host. So if you feel like being a regular, or if anybody else on the site, even in the public, if you reckon you can fill this shoes of TRIots. TRIots? That doesn't come out so very well. All right, so we did. In fact, why don't we? We'll give you, Chris. We'll give you. Maybe what we'll do is, why don't we even? We'll put in a break here, and we'll give Chris the ball here. So, Chris, what's your vote here for this week? What do you feel like? You think market's going to go up? You think market's going to go down? You think the market's going to do nothing?
It's tough to say, especially knowing what the breath indicator looks like. I'm gonna go neutral for now.
All right. Well, that's always a safe first bet. We'll let you get away with that. Right.
Thank you.
And I remember, Ben, you said you didn't want to say anything till the end of the show, right?
Yeah, I put a 1 in there.
Is this you here?
Right on the end,
Derek.
just above Chris.
Oh, I screwed you up. I'm sorry. What a
That's all right.
doofus. There we go. Chris over there. So, but 0. What color is neutral?
I think it's a gray.
It's like gray, eh? So we got to make you gray. Sorry about that, Ben. God, I totally ran over you there. Terrible. Terrible, I say. Terrible. There you are. Okay. So that's you here. 1. And Nick said -1, and I will go with a. Let's see. There's my funny prognostication. So where's 1 week from now? Oh, we're coming up into that April 4th, eh? Oh boy. Oh, so no, that's still 2 weeks away. So that means the 30th. Where's the 30th? Ooh, so I have to be turning a bit. Yeah, I definitely have to be at least a -1. But what is that? If we go down to like 30, if we lose $5,000, what does that equate to? And ironically enough, that's not even that much. 5,000, is that a minus? Well, I guess there's yellow, 4.6. So I'll do, well, I guess we'll go with -1. Keep it simple. All right. Well, interesting. I actually, I'm a bit surprised. The market's actually a little bit stronger than I thought it was going to be. I got the impression, especially off of this, I got the impression actually we were going to have to pull back here, but it's just grinding its way higher here. But I do think that probably by a week from now we have to be lower. So we'll see what happens. Only time will tell, eh? All right, well, that is 8 o'clock. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your participation tonight. I love working with you guys. So thank you very much, Ben. And thank you, Nick. Hope you have a good sleep and you got lots of work and stuff done that you had to get done. And thank you, Chris, for joining us tonight. I really appreciate that. It's kind of fun having a new person on board here. The only other thing I'd mention, although I'm not quite sure where I put the screen. The reason why we did this video to begin with was let's see, I guess I can do this here. We wanted to, or at least I wanted to build a booth in and here is the video. Lots of ums. We wanted to build a booth in Decentraland, just have these videos playing constantly 24/7, and just make it so that, because I mean, God, we have thousands and thousands of hours of video now. I don't even know how many hours. It would just be countless hours, because each of these damn videos is like 2 hours long. And I mean, we've been doing these things for years now. So tons and tons and tons of is that us right now? 12 people watching. That's almost funny, eh? Yeah, you go on YouTube regularly, it's like 40,000 viewers, 10 million likes, and then our videos have 5 people. I'm so bad at this.
I wonder if YouTube is deducting you points for having an Ethereum address in your comments.
Oh, would they do that?
In your description. I don't know. With a lot of scams that went around.
Yeah, like on my Twitter. On my Twitter feed, it was so bad. Somebody said that we like. I remember on our Twitter feed things, we actually had to say we're not Ethereum shillers or something like that. Do you remember that?
Okay. Well, and YouTube believed you, or Twitter
well,
believed
I don't
you?
know. See, I don't even really interact with YouTube, and I do it all wrong. There's a guy on the website, Steve RLZ. I don't know whether you've ever seen him. He's so angry at me. He's like, Brian, you've gone like 99% of the way to make Google happy. And you just won't go that last like 2% to make them happy. So, I don't know. I mean, I've told Chris got the write-up from Steve. Remember that, Chris?
Yeah. I'm slowly working on that.
So, anyway, it's almost funny. I mean, really, I'm doing JoJo's work. If JoJo and Spirit want the world to know this, they will make it happen. So we just try. All I do is just try my best. And if anything, it's good for all you people, because we haven't gone mainstream. Everything's all nice and quiet, and we don't have relatively small membership. I had one guy the other day, he said to me, Brian, we need to talk about getting 10,000 people on the site a day. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. So anyway. All right, so where was I? And I mention it because that's the whole point of this. If you felt like you got some value out of this, if you felt like you want to make a contribution to TRI and sort of educating the public, we do have this ETH wallet address on our description, but maybe that's not a good idea. I don't know. But if you feel like participating and you'd like to help the cause out, that's how we ask you to remunerate our efforts here. Other than that, the website itself, I mean, God, this place is so awesome. It's ridiculous. We've built now tools that I think are actually going to become industry standard over the years, especially when I turn it over to the boys and, all you good people and quit with the loudmouth Beamish nonsense. And you guys actually we started like building like tutorials and stuff on how to do this. Actually, we were really proud. Big thing that we got firing this week was we got the weekly key reversal signals actually firing now on the U.S. stock. So I thought it was really interesting. Tesla, for instance, spat up a weekly key reversal there. And actually, I even did a spread trade write-up on it. And it's already approaching the double level. Even I think it backed off a little bit today, but it came really close to the double level already. So it just goes to show weekly key reversals are the poop. Website's just killing it. And, of course, I think our education program's pretty solid and teaches you how to run a small business of trading. It's not really, the education program's not really going to give you, hey, buy this here now, buy that there now. It's going to teach you how do you manage a business of running a small business of trading. How do you set yourself up to succeed at this game? And then, we do teach you what does a half-decent buy look like? What does a half-decent sell look like? What are some different strategies to use in different market states? So I think the school speaks for itself, but God, we don't have another new term coming up for another month or two. So if you are interested in getting educated, then just become a regular watcher of all our free content. These Wednesday shows, the Sunday broiler chicken show. Take advantage of we have a free 30-day trial for the website. So you can just come and we do, like I say, 2 long-hour videos every single day of the week. The daily brief. Which, of course, what's really cool now is because I'm not teaching as much, is I can just sit and cherry pick all the stuff that's happening in the market. For instance, like there was a gap theory demonstration in the crude oil market here recently. Now, that's kind of an odd event. But, in essence, gap theory told you almost exactly where that crude oil rally was going to end. And that's what happened. It's fascinating. So, even today, we were talking about sector rotation and what to expect out of different asset types and how to trade them appropriately given where they're falling in sector rotation. So, in a weird sort of way, it's kind of like what I do with you guys here. On these free shows is I never know where the hell the conversation's going to go. It just goes where it goes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you feel like you got good value out of this, help the cause out. Or feel free to pop on the site. And if we can teach you how to build a half-decent trading plan to get yourself participating and ready for the next bull, which it looks like the market's trying to turn back up here. Remember that DC annual report. The second half of this year could be a very powerful rally. Just you found the right place. And if anything, one thing that I really like is that people seem to believe that I'm out to help them. I'm not out to screw them. I'm not out to fleece people for money. I'm here to try and help you. And for God's honest truth. From JoJo's lips to your ears. So. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for your participation tonight. Any closing thoughts, Ben? What's a thought these people should have in their brains going forward for the next week?
I just pushed through an update to the app, and
cool.
It's got the rapid fires on it. So
nice.
If you all want to check that out and look at the charts that Brian's done up, they're all accessible there.
Okay, let me just see. Where the hell was that? Like a doofus, of course. Oh, I think I have it over here. Yeah, here we are. So this thing, you just updated all this?
Yeah, so if you hit the refresh button, it should...
Right on.
You can see if I'm telling the truth. There you go, right in the middle there at the bottom. You've got rapid fire right at the very bottom.
Oh, yeah, that's this?
Yeah. And then so if you click on them, you'll see... so if you navigate through to one of the ones that we've done, like say
Yeah, like
tonight.
playing here tonight.
Yeah,
Ooh.
so you got a ticker, you got location, structure, momentum, and then the link to the right up at the top is so you have the location, Momo
Oh,
Dev
cool.
structure,
Oh,
and
right
then
on.
the latest chart that you've done.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
so
it's
sick.
all there.
Awesome, dude.
Cool.
Man, you
So
guys are so lucky.
whip out your phone, put the camera on that QR code in the top right, and just get it right onto your phone.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. That's sick. All right, Chris, any closing thoughts for these good people? Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. That's actually really cool. I'll have to try to download this app. What is it? The Glide app? Yeah, I was just baffled by that. I hadn't seen that before, so that was pretty interesting. But
That's cool, eh?
yeah, I don't have much to follow up that with. Tune
Just...
in to the Daily Brief tomorrow, Julian and the Baby Powder Report.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Baby Powder Report. Julian's on tomorrow, Thursdays. Right on. Oh, and let's all closing thought then. Oh, I cut you off. Please continue.
No, that was it.
Okay, cool. And if everybody, I know there's a few people, but if you could all just close your eyes and just give a nice karmic wave for Liam, my son. Every time I seem to ask Spirit and I ask the universe to help Liam be in a good frame of mind, we always have a good day. And Thursdays is Liam's day with Dad, so I'll be spending the afternoon with him. So everybody wish Liam some good karma, if you would, please. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your participation, gentlemen. Thank you, YouTubers, and hopefully, we even answered directly to somebody's inquiry there. Hey, we even did a nice little interaction with the public here tonight. All right, everybody. Have yourselves a great day. PMA for the win. All the best. And the only thing left for, well, Chris is new here tonight. The only thing left for Chris to say here is...
Bye for now.